All right. Good evening, everyone. Donna Whittington with The Color of Jazz. And tonight, I have a very special guest. My guest tonight is Chris Standring. And Chris, of course, is coming to us from the LA area. And he's going to hang out with us this evening. And we are going to have a lot of fun with Chris tonight. And we're going to be talking about his latest project. And it is called Electric Wonderland, and I have it right here. So we will be talking to Chris about that CD. And let me just bring Chris on. So there you are. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good, Donna. How are you?
I am well. I'm well. And Chris, you're just a little low on my microphone when I'm looking at my mixing board. There you go.
All right.
So,
Okay.
all right.
I can turn me up if you want me to turn it.
Yeah, give me a little bit more volume on your end.
Volume. Volume.
Yes. So in Skype,
Oh, hang on. There we are. Tell
there
me
you
if
go.
that's better. One, two, three, four, five.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yes. You sure?
I think so. So give me a test.
One, two, three, four. Test.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's get started with you, Chris. And again, you were on my show last year. And so I'm excited to have you back. And real excited because I got to hang out with you in Michigan, what, 3 weeks ago? I
That's
think that
right. Yeah.
was.
It's great to meet you.
Yeah, finally to meet in person. And it's always nice for the people that we hang out with in Facebook, but to see them in person, that's always a cool thing. So, yay, that's exciting. And got to meet some of the folks who play with you as well. So let's talk about the band a little bit later. But first, I just want to get back to you, and I want you, for those who are new to the show, we've got a lot of folks that are new to the show now. And so I want you to give us some more, give us some background on you, Chris, and how you um, came to the music.
Well, that's a deep question. I don't know how long we've got. But I started playing guitar when I was about 6 years old. Um, and that was a long, long time ago. But even before then, I remember having toy guitars from age 2 every birthday until I was old enough and big enough to hold a real size guitar. And then once I got my very first guitar, I was off to the races, and it hasn't stopped since. So it was a long time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So at the age of 6 is when you start to play guitar.
Indeed. Yeah. And then I had classical guitar lessons for uh, a number of years, right through my teens, and then I went to music college in London for 3 years, when and at that point I sort of became a professional musician, and stayed in London for about 10 years and did a lot of sessions and TV shows and West End theatre productions, that kind of thing, and a lot of gigs with my first band and learning how to write and arrange, and then I realised that I wanted to do some things on a more international level. So
Mm.
I made a big move out here in 1991, and that was 20 years ago now. So
Wow. Wow. 20 years ago. And now,
amazing, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's amazing how time flies. And if I'm correct, do you play the ukulele?
Well, no, not
Okay.
technically. I have something called a guitar lady, which I bought during writing for this last record, and it sounds exactly like a ukulele,
Okay.
but it's got 6 strings instead of 4 strings. And a proper ukulele, you have to tune the guitar differently. Well, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to actually learn a new instrument. So I got this little guitar lately, and it's got 6 strings, and you tune it just like a guitar. So you play it just like a guitar. So you don't actually have to learn anything new, and it sounds just like a ukulele. So for lazy people like me, it's a really good way to do it.
Nice. Okay. So what tune will we hear the ukulele kind of played on?
Well, there's a couple actually, but probably the one that's very apparent right at the beginning is a song called "Castle in the Sky."
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll play that one for sure so that we can hear that. But on this CD, and of course when I was in Monroe, Michigan with you at the River Raisin Jazz Festival, you had a string section with you.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Well, I've been traveling with a string section now for the last 2.5 years or something like that, and it all started when I recorded my Blue Bolero album, which is a couple of years ago, and that was a very orchestral record. And so I thought, instead of bringing a 22-piece orchestra with me, which would be just ludicrously impossible, unaffordable, I decided to whittle it down to a string quartet. And the other enormous expense would be flying extra string players. So I decided wherever I was touring, I would get local symphony players. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I did in Michigan. That's what I did in Seattle. That's what I do in London, and many other places I do shows at. And it's actually a great way of employing local musicians. And they're all fantastic players because they're all symphony players.
Right.
You're always going to get great top-notch players. So that's the way I've been able to make it work.
Nice. That's awesome. And of course, the folks that you had with you, they were absolutely amazing. The local musicians from in Detroit, correct?
Well, actually, they were all Toledo symphony players.
Okay.
And Toledo, as I found out, is very, very close to where we were in Monroe, Michigan. So they were, they were local symphony players. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You know what? They were pretty awesome, and
Yeah, they were great.
And it was cool. It was really cool to have the players there and listen to them. And your CD, of course, has a lot of the strings on there. So folks will get to hear that as well. And I'm just real excited about your new CD, Chris. And,
well, thank you.
It's awesome. And, you've got a lot of music that I really like. Of course, I think my all-time favorite is Constellation.
Tell me what it is. And I'm not looking for adoration here, but a number of people like that song. And tell me what it is that is the appeal of that song. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it too because I wrote it. But that one particular song seems to, make people pay a little bit more attention than maybe other songs I've written. And I'd like to know why, so I can maybe do it again.
Okay, and so for folks who, that means I got to play Constellation too. But for me, Constellation, it's funky, you know what, and it's groovy, and
Yeah.
I like I don't want to call it sound effects, but
Right.
I like that how you interwove that in there because it does have that ethereal feel, real atmospheric and kind of
Yes,
spacey,
it does have ambient. Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I like about a lot of your songs, though. I like how you mix the talking in the background
Mm-hmm.
and like and on your show, I mean on your song, there's a hole in my shoe or hole in my shoe. I like that.
Well, I think the one thing that you're probably getting from my music, which I think is quite different from what a lot of other contemporary jazz players, is I like to fuse a lot of sort of DJ style elements
Yes.
with real playing, and that I think is probably what defines my overall sound. I don't know what it is. It's funny. It's not normal. Most jazz musicians detest that side of music. They like things to be real and organic and playing with the section, all that good stuff. And I love that too. But there's something hypnotic and infectious about all these little loops and samples that you can throw into the mix on top of real playing. I don't know. I have fun with that. It's quite a sort of experimental way of writing.
Well, you know what? I think you do it quite well, and on a lot of your songs, you know, you hear that. So let me start off with Constellation, and because I want folks to kind of hear what I hear. I mean, it's groovy, and it's a lot of fun.
I guess we have to play it now, don't we?
I know we do. You know, we talked about it. So let me get that. Let me bring that up. And for folks who, in case you don't know, this is on Chris Standring's Soul Express CD. You know, it's the CD, of course, with the amazing cover.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
It is. And so I'm going to go ahead and I will play that, Constellation. And so let's start off with that one. As I said, one of my favorites. And folks, I want you to enjoy this. Okay. So I don't know about you folks, but I had to get up and dance. Um, I thought that, like I said, that's one of my favorites. So I hope you guys were dancing with me. I hope folks were dancing with me. I'm assuming folks were dancing with me because I had to get up and dance. And so, Chris, for me, it's, you know what? I just love, it's a great vibe. And I think Leslie was saying, good vibe, and just trying to keep up with the chat as I dance, which is probably
Right.
not a good combination. But I love this song. So one of my favorites.
Well, good.
Yes.
Excellent.
And of course, it's timeless. So, you know, I can, from 20 years from now, that'll come on and I'll still get up and just be jamming because
Right.
it's just such a cool vibe. So I hope folks, you know, have that same feeling. Yes. Barbie is saying the same thing. So
That's
yeah.
That's an old song now. I mean, it was 2006 that came out.
So 6 years old, but still, you know, yeah, it's timeless. I love that. Absolutely love that. But since then, of course, you put out more CDs, and what are you up to now on CDs?
What am I up to? Do you mean how many have I put out?
Yes.
I've put out 7 solo CDs and a couple of projects that were kind of joint ventures. You know, kind of. I did one Christmas record last year with a friend of mine, Catherine Shaw.
Yes.
Which was a set of original Christmas songs that we wrote together.
Nice.
And then back in the day in 1996, a long time ago now, I started out with an acid jazz project called Solar System, which was supposed to be my first solo album. But I wasn't really ready to make one. And it became a band project and we got very experimental and But you know, it was only a couple of years later that I actually got on the rails, you know, on the train tracks, and actually did make a solo album, which was Velvet. That was my very first solo album,
Ah,
and several to continue. You know.
nice, nice. Well, like I said, your music is awesome. It's off the hook. I don't have the Christmas one, but I will have to get that. And because the holidays, of course, are coming up here soon. We're already at September, so the holidays will be, here upon us. And of course, the Christmas music is timeless as well. So I know that CD will be, in season again. So folks, if you
That's
haven't
right.
gotten it,
That's
hey Chris, what's the
just trying to
best
do
place to
something.
get your music?
I'm sorry.
What's the best place to get your music? Where should we get it?
Well, you can pretty much get it everywhere that you can now buy music. So anywhere online, Amazon.com, iTunes, my own website,
Oh, good.
chrisstandring.com. Um, you can always get extra things at my website, you know, photos and things like that. And where else? I mean, offline, I mean, there whatever stores are left that are selling music, which is not many, you know. I think you can probably get it in some Barnes and Nobles, and you know, I mean, it's just the worst way to buy a record now at a music store, because you just don't know whether you can get it,
Yeah,
and it's,
true.
you know, literally 90% of the time you'll be disappointed. So the best place is these online places, Amazon and iTunes, you know, because you'll always get it, always.
So, how do you feel about downloading versus actually getting a hard copy? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? What do you mean? Do I like the idea of people downloading, or as
Yeah,
opposed
I
to?
mean, and the quality, is the quality the same on when someone downloads? Would you rather people buy a CD from you?
I think the quality is pretty much acceptable now.
Okay.
When you purchase a download, you're getting a pretty high resolution download for the most part. That wasn't the case when downloads first came out. Things were very compressed and very noisy and
Yes.
not too squashed. Um, so yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't mind whether I, I really personally don't mind whether CDs go away completely, provided they are replaced with you know, people actually purchasing downloads instead. I mean, it's personally, I perhaps it's my age, but I actually like CDs. I mean, you know, back in the day, I actually loved LPs.
Right.
um, I like to see artwork. I like to see liner notes. I like to see thank yous. I just like the CD visual and audio experience. And the idea of downloading something onto a phone isn't really quite enough. It's not telling me the full story. Of course, the other thing is the this is a political issue now, but the whole thing about iTunes is that when you're purchasing something from iTunes, you're not really owning it. You're sort of licensing it. And if your hard drive goes away, somehow you've got to prove to them again that you've purchased it and you own it. I don't like that. I like to own a CD, so no matter what happens to my computers, whether they blow up or they get stolen, I have a backup copy that I can always import into my computer, and I always own it. But that again, that might be my age. I mean, you can't convince an 18-year-old kid to think like that. They have no interest in garbage, a physical piece of garbage. They actually just want to have everything on their phone. That's the culture that they grew up in, you know.
Right. And you know what? I think you're absolutely right with that. And I guess what? You know what? I'm going to show my age as well, because I would much rather have the CD, because like you, Chris, liner notes are very important. Um, I get to see, who you're thanking on here, all the
Yeah.
musicians on the project. And I just think even the producers, the engineer, the people who did the artwork, all of that is so lost on the downloads. And, and I just think I just think it's a shame. So for me, folks, if you're asking me, I would rather you get the CD from Chris. Um, I'd actually rather you get it when you see him live at a concert. And
well, that's the other thing, of course. You know, if you come to a concert, I can sign the CD. I can't sign your digital download. I can mess up your phone.
Right.
But not the file itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's play a song from Electric Wonderland, and I'm going to, of course, start off with Oliver's Twist, and I've been posting that on my Facebook page. So I posted the video, and the official video, folks. You know, that's the other thing about the internet. You know, a lot of folks will just put music up, but I posted the official video on my page, and it's a great video, by the way, Chris. I like, you know, folks coming in and dancing, so I'm probably gonna have to dance
It was very
too.
yeah. Yeah, in fact, if you were in town, we would have had you up on the roof dancing as well.
Okay, right. And that would have been a lot of fun. So let me queue up iTunes, and let me get up Oliver's Twist. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Enjoy this, folks. Okay. Woo! Okay. So let me bring up the cameras again, because I had to another song, folks, that you gotta dance to. I love that. Love that about your music. And so I, of course, was having a ball, and I hoped that you were too. And I hope folks were dancing to that. And Chris, looks like
Yes.
while I was dancing, having fun, looks like you went and got your guitar.
I did because I think a few people might want to hear this. Hear this.
Oh, let me put you full screen. Here we go.
How's that?
Ooh, lovely. Lovely. Folks, how was that? And of course, I was enjoying that. And it's always cool when the artist plays live for us. Of course, we love that. And so, folks, let me bring back up the chat because I am sitting here multitasking here, and I'm on a Mac, and I really don't know. I'm so intimidated by Macs. Okay, love that. And of course, Oliver Twist is, was that the first single that you put out, Chris?
On the Electric Wonderland album, yes. And there's uh, it had a fantastic run. I mean, it went to #1 for 6 weeks. I don't know whether you know that. But we got a new single now from the album, which is the first cut on the album, called Pandora's Box.
Ah, okay. Of course, you know we got to play that, folks. You know that.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And again, folks, if you kind of come in a little bit late, the CD is Electric Wonderland, and of course, Chris Standring, and a lot of fun this CD is, and I just, love the dancing part. So it's definitely a groovy CD, you know, and of course, you're a groovy guy, so
Well, we like to be groovy, you know.
yes. You do a great job of being groovy, and of course that, and your accent, and folks, I don't know if you know this, but Chris is a pretty tall guy. You're a pretty tall guy, Chris. How tall are you?
I I'm 8'4".
Yeah. Okay, probably not 8'4", but you're very tall.
Well, I'm 6'2". I mean, I'm yeah, I'm not small.
He's not by any stretch. And of course, to see him on the stage in Monroe, Michigan, was just a treat to see him live. Chris, where are you touring next?
Where am I going next? I have a show coming up in Las Vegas. It's the Las Vegas Jazz Festival,
Ah,
and that is on September the 15th.
okay.
I've also got something this weekend in Los Angeles. I'm doing a little guest for 94% of the Wave.
Okay.
I'm playing at the Bonaventure Hotel downtown. That's this Sunday, I think. And where else? I've got some gigs coming up locally and organizing more. You know, I can't remember actually. So you should have a look at my calendar.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, you got to be able to get to see Chris live. If you haven't yet, it's such a treat to see him live, and make sure, of course, that you get your CD signed. And the best place to get the CD from the artist is there when you're at one of their shows. And as Chris was saying, you can get it autographed. So definitely make sure you do that. And that way you're not waiting for shipping and, you know, waiting for it to get you. You have it right then and there. So I love that. All right. I'm going to put on Pandora's Box, and we're going to jam to that one, folks. Get your dancing shoes on, and let's get dancing. Got my drink here, and it's a party, of course. So everyone, let's do some jamming. All right, let me bring up Pandora's Box. You gonna play that one for us?
I think it goes like this.
Okay.
Well, you'll hear the rest.
You know what, folks? Chris is great at giving us a little tease there. So let me bring it up, okay? And so we can hear that. So you can hear and we can jam. So I'm going to get back up and I'll be jamming and I hope y'all will too. And so let's get it kicking.
Let's get it kicking.
Box, folks. Enjoy. Very, very nice. And okay.
Or something like that.
Or something like that. Yes, and of course, very, very nice. And that's awesome. Yeah, of course, like I said, we always love when the artist plays live for us, and very, very cool. Thank you, Chris. Love that. Hey, Chris, yeah, he's a pushover, folks. All right. Love that. Love that. I don't know if you saw Barbie's question, and Barbie wanted to know your thoughts on Facebook, Chris, and how do you like all of your fans kind of knowing all your moves, everywhere, everything that you're doing, basically? What are your thoughts?
I don't really mind it so much. I mean, I don't have too much to hide. That's the thing. I mean, anything that I do have to hide, I'm going to do my best to hide it. But I mean, for the most part, I'm an open book, and I don't see any reason to not be. And I quite like that. I like to be honest. I like to share my feelings, and it's nice to interact with people who've got other things. I'm not really from the old school where people, all the old sort of celebrities felt like they had to put themselves on these pedestals and go through managers and agents in order to talk. I've never really been of that school. I've always been the sort of guy that if you want to come and chat with me after a gig, I'll come and have a beer with you.
That is true. That is so true.
And that's exactly what we did, isn't it?
Yes. And you know what? So much fun. So folks, I have to encourage everyone, when Chris comes to your town, that you have got to see him live. It's cool to see him right here. And that's awesome. But you know what? It surely doesn't compare to standing right next to him and getting a picture. And Chris, you're very personable. I love that about you. We took quite a bit of pictures. So, you know what? And I didn't queue up the picture with me, you, and Bob James.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great, I'm going to have that for the rest of my life. That is a fantastic picture.
That's an awesome picture. And, folks, I'll post it on my Facebook page. But for those of you who don't know, Chris, you got to, be at that festival with Bob James, and you played with Alexander, right? You came up on the stage at the end.
Yes.
And played with everyone. That was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, well, Bob James is, of course, one of my childhood heroes, as he is with many artists.
Yes.
And not only did I get to play with Bob, we got to know each other quite well. I've met him, last year we did a show together as well. So it wasn't the first time. But what was really nice about it is that we all went back to this little private...
The compound.
...of the promoter, and we just hung out and had dinner together and told lots of stories. And, of course, Bob has got so many great stories to tell of all the times when he was, working with Grover Washington Jr. and, just a million stories. And we were just transfixed going, my God, what an amazing time that must have been,
Yes.
So we were like sort of kids in candy stores,
right?
To tell you the truth. Yeah.
Yes. And, of course, amazing show that was. And the promoter, we got to talk about John Patterson, who brought me out there as well. John, of course, that was the 11th annual River Raisin Jazz Festival. And for those of you who don't know, that festival is free every year. They have amazing sponsors. Lazy Boy is one of their big sponsors and headquartered there in Monroe, Michigan. And the sponsors come together in that town of 22,000 people. Did you know that? The town only had 22,000 people.
No kidding.
And of course it doubles on that weekend. But It's a amazing jazz festival every August, and the festival is free. So if you can ever get up to Monroe, Michigan in August, great festival. They have top-notch artists perform every year. I mean, Chris Standring was there, folks. Oh my gosh, you know.
It's great. John Patton is, you know, he bless him. He's a wonderful guy, and just does so much for jazz in that territory.
Right.
Really great.
Right. And he just phenomenal. And for those of you who don't know, J-Lo is in the house. Hi, J-Lo. I don't know if it's the J-Lo, but we're going to give a big shout out to J-Lo in the chat. And Harriet, of course, has joined us also from San Diego. So hello to Harriet. And Gary's going to come on the show here pretty soon as well. Another musician's in the house along with Jathan. So a lot of folks, you know, first time coming to the Color of Jazz. And of course, we love that and hanging out with you. What do you say? What are you saying, J-Lo? Not the, but hi. She's not the J-Lo, but she is a J-Lo. Right? So you know what? It's always fun to have folks in the chat and, of course, chatting directly with your favorite artist. And here we are with Chris Standring. So, all right, Chris, we've got another 10 minutes with you. So, on your CD, what should I play?
Let's see. What are people in the mood for? You want to play? Oh dear. Let's think. I can't remember what's on there.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Almost September, All That Glitters, Wishful Thinking, Heart of the Matter, Escapade, Merry-Go-Round, Castle in the Sky.
Okay, how about I think everybody's in a sort of happy, positive, funky mood, aren't they?
We are. We're kind of jamming.
So, how about Wishful Thinking? Because that's going to get you guys down a little bit. I mean, when I say down, you're going to get down, you know.
we're going to get up, get down, get funky, get loose, right? Do you remember that? Does anyone remember that? From back in the, I guess, 80s or 70s, get up, get down, get funky, get loose.
That's right.
Does anyone remember that?
Yeah, if you want to get down, you got to take it on up.
Oh.
In the words of Edwin and Funk.
Now I'm really showing my age. Are you going to play a little bit for us to
let's see. What am I going to play for you? I can't remember how this goes now, because I got another song in my head. But do I have to play it? I don't know. Something like that.
Nice. Okay.
I've got nothing else for you.
All right. Jason, of course, is saying cool. And I think Barbie remembers get up, get funky, get down, get loose. I know I'm not making that up, folks. So we'll have to Google that so we can play that. I'll put it on my site, on my Facebook page. All right.
There you go.
So before we play that, folks, and I saw this question in the chat. So for those of you who don't know, you can go to Chris Standring. Go to his fan page because he is already maxed out on the personal page. So definitely go to Chris Standring. If you search him out, it will pop up. But if you want to go directly to his fan page, it's Standring C. Okay.
There you go.
So it's the last name, first initial. Of course, facebook.com/ all that nonsense. But Standring C, or you can just put in Chris Standring and you'll see the page pop up. Okay. So make sure you do that. Let's get on Wishful Thinking. And there we go, folks. Enjoy. Okay. Ooh. Woo! Jazz enthusiast just joined us as well. Hey, jazz enthusiast. She's saying escapade, and yes, Gary is saying it almost sounded like there was some scatting there with some wah wah.
Yeah, I'm sure there was. All sorts of funky noise going on.
Right?
Yeah, there's a little talk box, and I can't remember what else is in there. I'd have to listen in depth, but yeah, definitely some Peter Frampton talk box.
Okay.
I like to do from time to time. It's a little bit like a guitar player trying to be a horn player. So that's fun. It's a lot of fun, you know.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And Chris, so when we hear Oliver's Twist and Hole in My Shoe, and is that you? Who's talking? Who's doing the background vocals?
It's actually, you know, it's actually me. I used to have a great singer called Jeff Robinson, who would come in and do that type of thing. He would sort of scat and sing along with the melodies that I played on guitar. Sort of they reinforce the melody. Since I had my own studio, I just started experimenting with some vocal effects. Now, I'm no singer, so trust me, you do not want to hear me sing a song. But with all sorts of studio techniques, you can actually have some fun with vocal sounds, and
Yes.
that's really what I've been doing on my last 2 or 3 albums. Just having fun and being silly and keeping what works and throwing out what doesn't.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's the other thing about your CDs. They are a lot of fun. And I am so digging what you're doing with your music. It works for me, and I hope for, I'm sure for a lot of folks, it's funky, it's upbeat, it's eclectic, it's not ordinary, you know.
Oh, thank you. If there's one thing I would hate to be is
It's
ordinary.
7 o'clock.
Yes, and you are so far from that. And when I say it's not ordinary and it's not typical and it's not usual, and it's that it's different. It's
Right.
that whole spectrum of jazz, that I love. You've got straight ahead, you've got, contemporary, smooth
Yeah.
jazz, now we've got the chilled jazz and folks are doing electronica. So I love that you're mixing it up. So it
Yeah.
isn't. It's not ordinary by any stretch. And it's not background music, folks. It's not that CD you put on and you do the dishes too. Although you could, but you're going to be
Mm.
dancing when you do the dishes. And that's a good thing too. So
Yeah.
I'm just
That's,
saying.
I'm flattered. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
You are welcome. So
Yeah.
what's next for you?
What is next? Well, next week I have a new guitar instructional program I'm releasing to the world.
Yay.
And I've been working on it for the last 2 or 3 months, so I'm very excited about that. If there are any guitar players in the audience, if you go to playjazzguitar.com, on Tuesday I'm launching this new video masterclass.
Wow.
Which is coming out, and yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be good.
So when you say you're launching the masterclass, my daughter Cassandra,
Right.
my middle child is learning how to play guitar. So
Right.
is this something for? She's a beginner, but is
No,
this something?
it's not. It's not for beginners. I do
Okay.
have a beginner's guitar course, but this is not for beginners. This is for people who already sort of delved a little bit into jazz,
Awesome.
or for people who haven't quite played jazz yet and they're wanting to cross over into it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And one more time, Chris, give us the website.
It's www.playjazzguitar.com, and it happens this Tuesday, day after tomorrow, September the 4th.
Nice. Okay. So folks, we will definitely have to, for those of you who know someone or who plays the guitar, then you'll definitely want to hang out with Chris on that. And again, it's not for beginners, but definitely go to that website and, you can get the information. Are you doing Skype lessons as well with this too, Chris, or how does that
I
work?
actually don't give private guitar lessons.
Okay.
I haven't done it for a long, long time. If my schedule eases up, I might get into it. I'm just too busy right now. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Okay. Well, that would probably be a good thing. I don't know, for all the ladies in the house, if they could pay attention and take lessons from you, but, I'm just saying. So for those of you who, of course, who are watching the show, please, 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 somebody put that in the type chat for me, because I'm on this Mac and I can't multitask for some reason on this Mac. But put it in the chat for me. And then, folks, I want you to make sure that you post on your own Facebook pages. That's the beauty of social media. Post on your own Facebook page what what he's got going on. And let's let folks know about all this. And, of course, the website. And, of course, where we can get the music. I prefer you go to his website, chrisstandring.com. That's where I prefer you get the music. And Chris, thanks for putting that in the chat for us. All right,
You're
folks.
welcome.
Chris is, as he said, it's on a tight schedule. I gotta let him go. And Chris, thank you, of course, for hanging out with us on The Color of Jazz. And it's always, always a pleasure to have you here and hang out with us and get in the chat.
The pleasure is all mine. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, and I look forward to doing it again soon.
Yay! Woo! Well, we'll definitely do it again, and even working on getting your piano player on the show.
Oh, Rodney or Greg?
Greg. Gregory. Yes.
Yeah.
So
sounds good.
Hopefully we'll have Gregory on the show here pretty soon before the year's out. And folks, again, make sure you check out Chris's Facebook page. Go to his fan page. That's open. Anybody can join that one. There's a ton of room there. It's endless room, I guess. So make sure you go there, like the page, hang out with Chris there. You will find all of his information on his touring. Chris does an amazing job of keeping that page up to date. So make sure you definitely go there. All right. And Chris, again, thanks and good night. We're going to continue playing, of course, Chris's music. And we've got another hour, folks. Everyone say good night to Chris. Chris, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. You've been great. See you again soon.
Yay. Right on.
Good night.
Good night,
Bye.
Chris.
Bye.
All right, folks. So that was fun to hang out with Chris. And, of course, just amazing music. I'm going to keep it going. And since J-Lo asked for Escapade, I'm going to keep it going with that. Let's play Escapade, and we'll get that rocking. I'm going to go back to Facebook and do some posting that we're still here for another hour and hang out with me in the chat. Chris was my only guest tonight, that being the holiday, but lots of great music from him. So here we go, Escapade. Very, very nice. Love that. And Donna, will you ever go to the Berks Jazz Festival? You know what? Yes. I went to the Berks Jazz Festival in 2006, and phenomenal festival that they have in Berks. You know what, folks? They do a festival for what, 2 straight weeks, and the jazz is absolutely off the hook. Um, when I was there, Kaylee Minucci in special effects was playing Richard Smith and Larry Carlton, Brian Culbertson, Eric Darius, Gerald Beasley. Um, they were all on the show at the Berks Jazz Festival, and just like I said, it's a phenomenal jazz festival. If you ever get the chance to go, that's a festival I would absolutely recommend. If you can do two, if you can do 2 straight weeks, because it's 2 straight weeks of nothing but nonstop jazz, then you should absolutely do that. And of course, we had. Let me back up. J Lo was asking when's Berks. You know what? Barbie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Berks is in March. Is it in March or is it April? So it's been a minute since I've been back there, but as I said, great festival. Um, I don't know if Rosie's in the house, but Catalina is coming up next month. And we had Art Good on the show, and Art talked about the festival and the lineup, and of course, phenomenal, just spectacular jazz lineup. And that's 3 weekends in October, and this is his 25th year. So you definitely want to check that out. You know what? Who wants to just hang out like me and just go to jazz shows? that's a, that's all I want to do is just hang out, go to jazz shows, hang out with the artists. That's all I want to do. So who's with me on that one? Yeah. Anyone with me? I know I've got some takers on that. But yeah, love the jazz and I love the festivals. Oh, Harriet's with me. Of course, Harriet's in San Diego. Harriet, you probably have a ton of jazz festivals that come through there every shoot. It's jazz festival season, the summer and things like that. So I know you get to catch some amazing jazz festivals. In fact, I need to come swing out that way on the West Coast because that's my favorite coast, folks. Yes. Barbie says it's April 5th next year. All right. So Barbie's all over it. Hey, folks, if you haven't, and J-Lo, I want to say thank you for, of course, this being your first time on the show, but also want to thank you for going to the Color of Jazz Facebook page and liking that page. So if you haven't done so, folks, please go and do that. Like the Color of Jazz page, please. And you will be kept abreast as to all of the jazz artists that are coming on the show. Of course, I'm still working on a date for Marcus Miller. Woohoo! Who's coming on the show next? Pete Belasco and Lau Tizer. They're going to be on the show this month, but next week I've got Gail Johnson and the Ladies in Pink, Jazz in Pink. So we're going to get some females. I've been asking for the females to step up and come on the show. I have only had 5 or 6 females that have been on my show, and the rest have been men, and I've been doing this now for over a year. So I need some ladies to come on the show. So if you know some jazz artists, some females, I would love to hook up with Cindy Bradley. Anyone has a contact, plant some seeds for me because I would love to have her on the show. Oh, yes, I've had Marion Meadows on the show. Yes, so Marion has been on the show. Marion's a lot of fun. He was on the show. Of course, I will remind you. I'm talking, me and Barb. I'm talking to her, and we talk a lot throughout the week and on Facebook. So make sure you guys go to the Color of Jazz page, and you can connect with me as well. All right, I want to put on some more music from Chris Standring, and of course, because the man is funky, right? And So let's keep it going with a little bit more of Chris. Um, you know what? I love traditional jazz, and so I am going to play Giant Steps because it's got that traditional jazz feel, that straight ahead jazz feel. And that's another thing that I like about Chris's music. Not he, as I said, he goes all over the place, but he also kind of returns to the roots of jazz. So check this out, folks. Giant Steps. Hang out in the chat with me and enjoy this. Woo! Love that. Absolutely love that. And Chris Standring is absolutely amazing, and of course a lot of fun. And guys, really had a great time just hanging out with him. Um, just a cool guy, really down to earth. You know what? I love that about the jazz musicians. They're so down to earth, and just quite, oh, what's the word I want to use? Just fun to be with. So take advantage of them. Please make sure, don't take advantage of them. Take advantage of going to their concerts and getting their music. That I do want you to take advantage of, because as we all know, art is not free. And I'm a little hot there. I think I was getting a little excited there. But art is not free is what I was trying to say. And for the music that they put up, they're very, very talented folks, and definitely want to be able to support them the best way we know how. And of course, that is going to their live events. So I know, as Chris was saying, you can get the music from iTunes, CD Baby, and all that. But if you can get it from his website, that's even better. Y'all sign, right? All right. Again, please make sure you guys are going to the Color of Jazz Facebook page. Really working on some amazing folks to come on the show. I want to know, folks, who do you want to see on the Color of Jazz? So I need you to let me know. Let me know in the chat, because I'm sitting here reading it. Let me know. Let me know on the Color of Jazz Facebook page. I listen to you there as well. So otherwise, you're just going to get the folks that I love. And I think we all love some of the same people. So, but I want to make sure that if there's somebody who you want to interact with, that I work very hard to get them on the show. I do want to work on getting some more traditional jazz artists in the house, some of the older legends, if you will. I would love to get some of them on the show, because, that's kind of the jazz grandfathers and grandmothers, if you will, and with new folks coming into jazz. So we'll definitely want to get the ones who have been there, who have seen the industry change, and those are the folks who I'm intrigued with as well as their music. But I want to get them on the show and show some love that way too. Oh, Victor Wooten, good choice, Barbie. I have actually made contact with Victor. Victor's, as you know, very busy man, and it's time for me to connect with him again. So I will definitely do that. I will get back on contacting Vic and his manager again and say, hey, we talked about you coming on the show. When are you going to do that? So a lot of folks you just really have to stay persistent with, and then they come on the show, right? So we'll see that with Marcus Miller, and would love to get a date from him real soon. So, and just so you know, with Marcus Miller, because he's doing a lot of touring and especially in Europe, we may have to do a day show with him. That will more than likely for Marcus will be a 2:00 Eastern show with him on a Sunday. But the cool thing is 2:00 Eastern is 8 p.m. GMT time, which of course is in Europe. So would love to extend that to the European audience. And I was doing that at one point, so I'm happy to do that again. And of course, if that's the only way I can get Marcus on the show, I'm there, right? So I will keep y'all posted, and we'll do 2 shows that day, because we'll have Marcus on in the morning, and then we'll do our regular show in the evening. So I'll keep you posted on Marcus Miller and the date. Lee Rittenauer, Lee was actually scheduled to come on the show and then had to cancel for a concert, but I will get back on getting Lee and get a date back from him and get him on the show because you know what? As you know, Lee is just awesome. Um, who else do you want to see? So let me know, folks, because there's a lot of folks that definitely want to get on the show. Today I was driving listening to XM radio, Sirius radio, and I would like to get Peter Erskine on. I don't know if anyone knows who Peter is. He's a drummer. He's out at USC, but an amazing jazz player. Would love to get him on the show. Would love to get Sonny Rollins, on the show. Would love to get the Marcellus men on the show. Branford, Winton, Delfeo. Would love to get him. I would love to have Larry Carlton. Yes. I would love to get Larry on the show. And again, folks, if you know these folks and you know what, even being a fan of them, go to their pages. If you're on their page, go to their page and say, hey, you got to come on the Color of Jazz internet TV show so we can come and hang out with you. So plant some seeds right along with me. And let's do that. All right. Stay in the chat with me. Let me know who you want to see on the show. I've got some more Chris Standring. So, let's see. Mr. Standring, where are you? There you are. I am going to play Hole in My Shoe. And I love that one. Liquid Soul. Jazz enthusiast wants to hear Liquid Soul. And I don't have Liquid Soul. Tell me some more about that in the chat. In the meantime, while you guys are chatting with me, let me put a hole in my shoe. Excuse me. I will come back and let's talk about Liquid Soul. Talk to me in the chat. Here we go, folks. Enjoy. Hole in My Shoe. Very nice. And of course, I'm trying to type with you, and my little Mac is locking up on me. So my apologies there. And I'm a little limited on my Chris Standring collection on this laptop. So got to play what I have here in front of me. But I do have a couple of CDs. So yes, so little limited there, and of course my laptop has froze up on me on Mac, but that's all right. I'll still just talk to you. Again, folks, who are you wanting to hear? I saw Niels. You know what? I would love to have Niels on this show, and would love to. Anyone has a contact, please make sure you let me know. And okay, Gary's back. Gary said he had to hang out with some folks for a minute, but he's back, and I'm trying to get my chat working, and I'm on a Mac and a PC, so you can imagine my frustration at times where it's just like, I don't know, I'm not versed in Mac, but that's okay. That's okay. And trying to keep my headsets in, my earphones in as well. All right. Folks, just love Chris Standring. Quite a handsome man. I mean, you know, not only is he tall, but he's absolutely great looking. He's not even good looking. He's great looking. The curly hair, you know, that little gray right here is just, yes. So, again, fun to hang out with him. And Azizia, is it Aziza? Gary, I have not heard of Aziza, and I hope I'm saying her name right, but I have not. So if you can let me know, inbox me, give me some info, or have Aziza, I hope I'm saying her name right, and have her contact me as well. That'd be awesome. And speaking of ladies, you know what? I am having a lady from Jakarta. She's coming on the show in October. So we'll go across the pond there, or maybe the other pond, and we'll have, her name is Yuka Rose, and Yuka is coming on the show in October. She'll be coming on with Gerald Veasley, and also in October, Nick Coleone. So Nick Coleone will be on the show. Yes. Barb, how can you calm down? The man is beautiful. So just saying. All right, folks. What else can I put on from Chris? And then we'll, for the next a little bit, we will hang out, and I'll play a little bit more of some other music. Oh, I'm going to play some music that we have coming up, and just kind of get your thoughts on some folks coming up on the show. All right. So, you know, Chris just has he's got some great music. But I'm going to go ahead and put Kaleidoscope on, and we'll play that. I'm going to try and get back in the chat. My Mac is frozen, so who says Macs don't freeze? Who says that? All right. Enjoy this, folks. Kaleidoscope. Yes, Barb, you are absolutely right. I do love everybody, and ugh. But I'm absolutely being true when I do say I love Chris Standring, and you know what? It's so easy to love folks when they are so personable and fun to hang out with. You know, Chris, he was like I said, he was so down to earth, and as are a lot of the jazz artists. And so, if you, of course, get a chance to hang out with your favorite artists, I absolutely encourage that you that you definitely do that. just so you can kind of to see how they are. You know, I got to hang out with Peter and do the show from his house. And Peter, of course, absolutely fabulous, fabulous, fabulous person. Very generous, very down to earth, very unassuming. Love him. And yeah, I know, love him, but I do. And fun to hang out with. And if you ever can hang out with Peter White, definitely put that on your list to do. There's a lot of folks that I love to hang out with. I would love to hang out with some of you folks as well. So we have to figure out, you know, the color of jazz something. Just I would love to put some real faces because I can see you in Facebook. That's true, but some real time, right? See you in real time. So we got to figure it out, you know. Figure out something and make that happen. So y'all think about how I can do that because I think that would be absolutely awesome and kind of shake up things and change the pace, you know. So figure that out for me, folks. Let's do this. All right. I, of course, finally figured out how to get into Facebook on this other laptop. And so I'm in Facebook for the first time tonight, which is, you know, y'all know that's not my style. I'm usually posting throughout the show, and I didn't get to post with Chris, so my bad. But let's see, we've got about 20 more minutes left, and I want to turn you folks on to, if you don't know this person, he's coming on the show. His name is Pete Belasco. And that's Belasco with a B, Belasco. Anyone know Pete? Pete, of course, is bringing back sexy. And folks, let me ask. Here's the question I want to ask, and I'll ask it on Facebook sometime this week. Has jazz lost its sex appeal? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that in the chat, of course. I'm going to say no, it hasn't. However, I think for the younger generation, for getting the younger folks into the music, I think the jazz has to be sexy, don't you? Let me know. I'm always thinking about jazz and the music and the artists and things like that. And of course for my show. But I want to know, how do we bring the sexy back for the younger generation so that we carry on this music? Jazz Enthusiast says, Too Close by Pete is awesome. Jazz Enthusiast, I don't have that song, but you know what I do have? And like I said, he'll be coming on the show. Oh, Barb, you know him too. Nice. He'll be coming on the show the 16th of September. And I'm going to play a couple of songs. I'm going to play Crazy. Yahweh, he's coming. And then I'm also going to play, I have Lights on My Eyes and Repay You. And when I say the man is bringing back sexy, he doesn't mix any words, just so you know, okay? So, you know, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. All right, let's get this started. Let me put on Crazy first, and just so we'll keep it toned down just a bit. Enjoy this. I'll get back in the chat with you. Let's talk about the sex appeal. Let's talk about that in jazz. Here you go. Enjoy Crazy. Pete Belasco.
So to you.
Call me crazy. And yeah, that man is absolutely sexy. And I will have the fire extinguisher with me, sitting next to me, because yeah, it's going to be a hot show. And of course, hanging out with Pete Velasco, September 16th. And we're going to have some fun. No doubt. And yeah, because the man, he's absolutely sexy. The music is sexy. And so are we losing the sex appeal in jazz? Thoughts, folks? What are your thoughts? When we listen to Crazy? Absolutely not. But you know what? There's a lot of sexy folks in the jazz genre. And I think when I've been thinking about this all week, and even putting it out to some musicians as well. So the my whole question about, is jazz losing its sex appeal? Um, and then I think about other genres of music, and when I think about pop and country, rock, and I think we see them more out, I guess. I mean, you've got the reality shows, you've got MTV. We don't really have a jazz show such as an MTV or VH1, so the jazz isn't out there as much, I guess. Help me out, folks. Let me know what your thoughts are. But I think the jazz is absolutely a sexy genre, and we need to keep it hot. Keep it hot, and the musicians are absolutely hot, so we shouldn't have any issues there, right? All right, so let me put on, I told you I was going to play another hot one from Pete, and it's a toss-up between Lights On or Repay You. You know what? I'm going to save Repay You for the show, so I'm going to put on Lights On. Enjoy this. Dig, dig, dig this. And here you go.
working pain so I can get to work late. Let me free your mind. I ain't gonna waste it. Do you wanna die? I'm gonna taste it.
This is absolutely hot. But this is not the version that I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fade this one out. This is not the version I wanted. I'm going to fade this one out, and I'm going to put on the version with the words, and because I want you to get the full effect of Mr. Pete Belasco. Check this out.
Baby, can't you leave the lights on?
Really?
Baby, can't you leave the lights on? Tell me how you like it, baby, so I can spend all night late. Let your cell phone ring, 'cause I'm gonna do it. Make your body sing, I'm gonna do it. Set you on fire, never mind tired. We can rock, we can roll, we can hang on. Set you on fire, bring it up higher, laying soul to soul. Baby, can't you leave the lights on? Baby, can't you leave the lights on? Show me what you're working, babe, so I can get to work late. Let me free your mind. I ain't gonna waste it. Do you wanna die? I'm gonna taste it. Set you on fire, never mind tired. We can rock, we can roll, we can hang on. Set you on fire, bring it up higher, laying soul.
Wow. I thought I had the ones with the words, but how weird is that? But I'll just let that play in the background. And but lots of good stuff in the chat, and I like what you're saying. Jazz enthusiast, of course, is saying for the question that I asked about jazz and sex appeal. And Jazz enthusiast says smooth jazz doesn't appeal to the most youngsters today. It's a matter of choice, I'm afraid. And so yes, and and you're right. The youngsters aren't really picking up on the whole jazz vibe. Although we've had Sheldon Ferguson on the show, 18-year-old, and he's off to college, just left for college last Friday. So of course we wish him a lot of luck, and he's going off to Berkeley to pursue his music, and so hopefully he will help keep the genre alive. And let's get some other folks, Vincent Ingala, who is another young man, young adult who's playing jazz. And would love to have him on the show. I don't think he's 21 yet. So if anyone knows Vincent Ingala, I would love to have him on the show as well. And Gary is saying, I will be introducing people on the front lines who are keeping the jazz alive. Right on, Gary. And Harriet, of course, is saying jazz will survive if we get our kids involved too. And you're absolutely right. If we get our kids to the concerts, right? Seeing these jazz musicians play live, playing the jazz, of course, around the house, in the cars. My kids, of course, have being around me and the whole jazz. So they've heard the jazz, not so much into it, but They have heard it, so we'll have to see how to keep that flowing. And I'm gonna try for Pete. I'm telling you, this is like the oddest thing because I have that song on my iPod with the vocals, and all of a sudden I'm getting the instrumental only. But that's okay. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I'm going to put on Repay You, and it better be the vocal version because it's going to be something quite weird going on. So I'm going to try this one last time for Pete, and of course we'll get to hang out with him, and he will talk to us about his music himself. Enjoy this. It's called Repay You. Got to tell you, it was a pleasure to hang out with you as it is every Sunday night, and of course having Chris Standring on the first hour. Lots of fun with Chris and having him play for us. You know, that's the biggest treat always. So lots of fun, and I hope you guys will come back next Sunday and hang out with the ladies, Jazz and Pink, of course, leading off with Gail Johnson and the others. So we'll talk to some females next week on The Color of Jazz. Looking forward to having them in the chat and, of course, on the show. Of course, and as I said, we'll follow up with Pete Velasco and Lau Tizer. And let's see, ton of people coming on in September. Sorry, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but that's why you need to go to The Color of Jazz Facebook page and like that page. Make sure you hang out there, and you'll see the whole list. You'll see their pictures when they're coming on the show. So make sure you do that as well. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to say thank you. I hope everyone had a fabulous holiday weekend. Be safe. I will see you next Sunday. Ciao. Good night, everyone.